Hi and welcome to my channel. Today is the beginning of a very special series of 8 readings which I'm doing in the lead up to this year's 888 portal. Now the 888 portal is happening on the 8th of August 2024, being this year 2024, adding up to an 8. So it is the 888 portal. This portal is the beginning of the spiritual new year. It aligns the sun, which will be in Leo, with Sirius, Orion's belt, and Earth. Now, the 888 portal is an activation where the past meets the future. It's an energetic spiritual moment of clarity where we recognize the connection between the past and the present, in and around the karmic cycles that we have been in, gaining a spiritual understanding of the links between those. Now, previous 888 portals, because they only happen every 9 years, I'm going to go back. So 1970, 1988, 1997, 2006, 2015, 2024, and the next one won't happen until 2033. Now, the number 8 is karma. So we all learn lessons in life, but for me, these 888 portals are the biggest spiritual lessons that we learn. There are 3 cards in the tarot, and these actually align with placements, with the astrology placements at the time. So we've got 3 8s here, 888. The first is the Strength card, which is the Sun in Leo. The Strength card represents Leo. Obviously, there's a lion on there, and I've drawn the infinity symbol, which is the 8. So the Strength card. Then we have the 8 of Swords, which is Jupiter in Gemini. The things that bind, the lessons that we learn, how we're stuck in the lessons that we learn, and when we get the strength to understand them on a spiritual level, because the 8 of Swords is being bound. Once you have the strength to understand them, you understand them on a spiritual level. The 8 of Cups, which is Saturn in Pisces, which is another placement that's currently happening at the moment, from June through until the end of November. Saturn is in Pisces. It's a pause where we take a look and reflect on the spiritual nature of things that have happened in the past in order to understand them, unbind ourselves, and be able to walk away from them. The Strength card, the 8 of Swords, and the 8 of Cups. Now, a perfect example of this particular 888 activation, 888 portal, it's called the Lionsgate portal, playing out is in the movie Back to the Future. Now, Michael J. Fox was the character, or was the actor who played that role. And when they were trying to get him to play that role, he was actually contracted on another job. He was on Family Ties, and they wouldn't release him. So they brought a different actor in, I think Eric Stoltz. They brought a different actor in, and it didn't work out. And the universe realigned and found a way for Michael J. Fox to play that role. He was always meant to play that role. Now, that movie was released in 1985, and obviously then we had Back to the Future 2 and Back to the Future 3. So between 1985 and 1990, those 3 movies were released. Now, 1988 was one of those 888 portals. That movie, as we heard Chris Martin say, and if you're not aware, Michael J. Fox, a couple of weeks ago, was invited by the band Coldplay to play with them on stage at Glastonbury. They played the song Fix You. Michael J. Fox has Parkinson's disease. And Chris Martin said while he was on stage with Michael J. Fox, that movie Back to the Future inspired them to form the band Coldplay. Something from the past connecting to something from the future. Ironically, Coldplay was formed in 1997, which again was another year of the 888 portal. And this year, 2024, when they invited him to play with them on stage at Glastonbury, is again another 888 portal year. As I said, that role was always meant to be played by Michael J. Fox. And if we look at the Strength card, it closed the loop from the start to the end of that spiritual journey between those 2 parties. Now, I picked up this card for a reason. The Sun in Leo, the Strength card, gives us the strength to unbind ourselves from the past to walk towards our future. Michael J. Fox is an amazing actor, but that wasn't meant to be the biggest role he played in his life. His spiritual journey began, and as I said, the 8-8 portal, or the 888 portal, is the beginning of the spiritual new year. His biggest role in life was meant to be an activist for Parkinson's disease. That man, that incredible man, has raised over $2 billion in Parkinson's research in the last 30 years. His acting career was a catalyst to an even bigger spiritual role. So as I go through these readings, these 8 readings that I'm going to do, I'm going to be tapping into energies of this realignment as part of this 888 portal, this realignment that we will go through, or that we have been going through. And my aim is that you will be able to reflect back on things that have happened to you previously and connect them with the future. Now, in that movie, Back to the Future, the DeLorean, to time travel, ironically, had to go 88 miles an hour. So finally, what I'm going to do is, these are a set of activation cards. Now, if you've not been to my channel before, welcome. I'm an intuitive tarot reader, but I'm also an illustrator, and part of my own spiritual journey has been to connect my intuitive side with my creative side. So last year, in the 8-8 portal last year, I created a range of cards. All of the cards I use on my channel are my own designs, my own illustrations, but specifically last year in the 8-8 portal, I created a range of activation cards. This is called my 888 activation deck, and if you are interested in any of my cards, the links to them can be found in the description box. But this particular range of cards, 8 separate designs. Now these are large format, so when I draw them initially, they are huge big pieces of art, and then obviously they're condensed down. Now each card has a specific meaning, and they are going to be each of the 8 readings that I do. I drew them with the intention of doing this reading at this point in time. So this intro I will use at the beginning of all of those 8 readings. They've all been recorded now, and the first one will go up today, and they will be released over the next 8 days. 1 reading each day for the next 8 days. So I'll also put them in a 888 Lionsgate activation playlist that you can find if you're wanting to go back and have a look at any of the other readings. I really enjoyed doing these readings. As I said, they've all been recorded. Some of my most favorite readings that I've done. So please take the time to have a look at those. Lots and lots of information in there, which may give you clarity as to the spiritual journey that you've been on and where it connects the past, the present, and potentially the future. So I will see you in your reading. Hi, and welcome to your reading. You are the 4th in a series of 8 readings that I am doing in the lead up to this year's 888 Lionsgate portal. Now, the card that I've chosen for you from my 888 activation deck is this one, and it is called Chosen. Now, this particular card, these cards I designed last year, and I think I said it in the intro. I designed last year in the 8-8 portal last year with the intention of using them for a big reading or a set of readings in the lead up to this year's 888 portal. This particular card, this particular design, at the time I was drawing this, now these drawings are actually big, large format artworks. And then I've condensed the design down onto these cards. So they take about 60 to 70 hours to draw. If you can see, within the smaller circles around, tiny little intricate pieces. So at the time I was drawing this one, I was actually inspired by the series that was running at the time called Chosen. and you don't have to have watched it. It's essentially the story, modern day twist on the story of the life of Jesus and how he chose the people, the disciples that were around him, and the intertwining relationships between all of those people. And all the episodes start off with essentially a fish swimming across stream, and then more fish join, all swimming in one direction, and then all of a sudden one fish starts to swim the other way. And slowly but surely, 12 fish start to swim the opposite way, meaning the 12 apostles. Now, it doesn't mean that this is a religious reading, but it was that symbolism that actually inspired the drawing on this card. So the idea of these cards is that you sit and you meditate, and part of the spiritual journey that you are on, you actually focus in on a point on the card and concentrate on the thoughts, the images that come to your mind. It's an activation card. So prior to your reading, I did a pre-shuffle for all of the cards, and 3 cards came out. Now you got a North and a South Node card and an Angel card. And I also did a big random shuffle on my playlist, which I often do to gather further information as to where this reading is going. Now it's pretty obvious, and pretty obvious especially because that was the card that I had chosen for this reading, which again is aptly named Chosen. So I'll start with these cards. Now, if you're not aware, the North and the South Node are your points of destiny. The North Node is currently in Aries, and the South Node is in Libra. The North Node is where you are headed. The South Node is your comfort zone, and it's what you are leaving. So we got the North Node in the 3rd house, and this doesn't have to be your placement, but it gives us an idea of the underlyings for this reading. The North Node in the 3rd house. If your North Node swings by the 3rd house, you might be a bit snug in your familiar ways, missing out on the thrill of a new perspective. But hey, no need to panic. Dive into fresh ideas, explore all angles, and surprise yourself with hidden talents like becoming a wordsmith extraordinaire or a wise educator. That's going to play out. Now, South Node in the 3rd house. So we've got two threes there. 3-3 might be of significance for you. South Node chilling in the 3rd house. Old habits die hard, especially if you've been besties with logic in the past. But hey, it's time to tune into your gut feelings. Who knows, a future in teaching or spreading wisdom could be calling your name. It's like a cozy spiritual hangout, letting go of the old to make room for new adventures. Both of those cards, because it's the 3rd house, are telling me that this particular Lionsgate portal, this very, very special Lionsgate portal, because it is the 3 8s, mean that you are chosen for some sort of spiritual journey. Now, this will explain everything. Number 71, Hayel. Also a number 8, 7 and a 1 adds up to 8. Significant because it is the 888 portal. Divine warrior and protection. This particular reading directly links back to what I was talking about in the intro. You are tied with somebody. Now, you could be coming to this reading. There's if you think of the 8, the karmic cycle, the lessons that we learn. And for me, it's about the lessons that we learn. And the sun's just gone behind the clouds. The lessons that we learn in between these 888 portals. Now, as I said, they're not every year. 1970, 1988, 1997, 2006, 2015, and 2024. That's the last 6 of them. And you can go back further if you want. But when I was talking about Coldplay and Michael J. Fox in the intro, Michael J. Fox, Divine Warrior, is a spiritual warrior. He was chosen He was chosen by God to have an acting career, to give him a platform for a bigger journey that he was on, a stepping stone to a bigger platform. As I said, $2 billion that man has raised for Parkinson's research. Now, if I go back to those dates, and I think I said, and I can't remember because I recorded the intro yesterday, I think I did say it. Coldplay, the band, was formed in 1997, which was a 888 portal year. They were formed in 1997, and when they brought him up on stage in Glastonbury a couple of weeks ago and had him play Fix You with them, Chris Martin actually said that Michael J. Fox and his character in Back to the Future, so we're going this karmic loop going back and forward, Michael J. Fox's character and those movies Back to the Future actually inspired them to form their band. And now here we are, 4 888 portals later, and Michael J. Fox is on the stage with them at Glastonbury performing, of all songs, Fix You. This reading is about a chosen connection between 2 individuals, somebody who has battled something in their life. And I'm talking, it could be mental illness, it could be physical illness, and somebody who has been inspired by that. And within that framework, the person who has battled illness, think of that fish swimming upstream. They've had to battle. And they might have inspired somebody in the first place through, for example, Michael J. Fox, as in his acting career. But the battle that he has been on ever since is what brought him onto the stage 4 888 portals later. Divine Warrior. And when I did my random shuffle this morning for all of the songs for this reading, I've let it sit for a couple of hours because I wanted to get in some more information. But when I did my random shuffle this morning, it was 11:11 a.m. Now, I got the song Breathe Easy, and that's Timothy James Bowen. He is an Australian singer who battled blood cancer. He was given 4 weeks to live and is still alive to this day. I got the song Stand By Me, Almost Paradise from the movie Footloose. I'm just going to list the songs. Almost Paradise, as in, if you think of Michael J. Fox, the prime of his acting career, and then he gets hit with this illness, something that might resonate with you. Everything was perfect, and then you got thrown a curveball and you had to swim upstream. No Matter What by Callum Scott. Assassins Breathe by Daniel Pemberton. Something trying to literally take the breath out of you. Staying Alive by the Bee Gees. This Is Me from The Greatest Showman. And Calling All the Heroes by It Bites. You have been in a physical battle, a spiritual battle, but you've been chosen to be in that. That's on one side. Or a spiritual battle that you have seen somebody go through has inspired you on your own spiritual journey. Now, this 71 here, number 8, this card, now whilst this particular deck for me isn't a tarot deck, it's just an oracle deck, this particular angel is associated with the 10 of Cups. It's also Divine Warrior and Protection. It's also associated with the military, bravery, talents and actions. This is a warrior, a battler, that card. That's you. This particular angel. And these dates may resonate with you because they might be your birthdays or somebody that you are connected to. So these dates may have significance, but they also may be significant dates in terms of the journey that you have been on. This particular angel is the soul guardian for people born between 11:20 and 11:40 p.m. The moral guardian for people born the 29th of May, the 9th of August, the 20th of October, the 31st of December, the 13th of March, and the physical guardian for people born between the 5th and the 9th of March. So as I said, those dates may resonate with you. But this reading, the energy for this reading is about two people that have a connection. Two chosen people that have a connection to be part of each other's spiritual journey. And it's either already been activated. As I said, 1997, which was a 888 portal year, was when that connection was activated with Michael J. Fox and Coldplay, and reactivated again this year when they all got up on stage together in another year of a 888 portal. But it's a connection between you and somebody else, and whether you are the warrior or whether the warrior in your life has inspired you on your own journey, there's a connection between the two and a meeting point between the two. So let's get some cards and see where we go. The Hierophant. The Hierophant is God. The Hierophant is Taurus and Venus, and number 5, change. So something that's changed. Health changed. But somebody's health journey that's changed you. The Hierophant is God, the spiritual connection between two people or two groups, two individuals that's got some sort of health, physical battle in there. 2 of Cups, look at that. That's the soulmate card. The 2 of Cups is Venus in Cancer. That's the soulmate card. You are connected. Now, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. The soulmate card is people that you incarnate into this lifetime with, that you have a soul connection with. And a very powerful one because you've got the Hierophant here. Part of your soul's growth. Now, in my own spiritual journey, back in 2018, 2019, I had a friend who sadly has lost her battle, but she started my spiritual growth, my spiritual journey, because of the battle she was going through. It was the beginning of that journey, and I thank her and respect and admire her for everything that she had to deal with. But I'm so grateful to her, even though it was painful, for setting me on the path of my own spiritual journey. 2 of Cups, connected. Temperance, divine timing. The Temperance card is Sagittarius and Jupiter. Often seen as the Temperance angel, an angelic connection that has a higher purpose. And as we go into this 888 portal this year, currently we've got Saturn in Pisces. It went into Pisces, I think the end of June, and will be there until November 29. It's currently in retrograde, which means it's a stop, it's a pause. Saturn is your karmic teacher. It's a time to reflect back on a journey that you've been in, a spiritual journey that you've been in with somebody in your life that you are connected to on a higher level, on an angelic level, on a spiritual level, as part of your spiritual growth. 2 fish, as I said, that was the fish in the beginning reels of that series Chosen. 2 fish connected, 2 of Cups. Cups are emotion, somebody that you were spiritually connected to. But in January next year, the nodes change into Pisces. There's something about this 888 portal this year that is activating some spiritual awareness in us, if it hasn't already, because the nodes go into Pisces. The North Node goes into Pisces. Pisces is spirituality. And we've got the 4 of Cups, which is disappointment, and the 5 of Swords, which is a mental battle. And on the bottom of the deck, the King of Cups. Okay, so the Five of Swords is Venus in Aquarius. That is the mental anguish. Swords are the mind. The mental anguish when some sort of illness, disease strikes you down, or strikes down somebody that you are close to, that you are connected on this spiritual journey with. The Four of Cups is the Moon in Cancer. The Four of Cups is the disappointment. The disappointment, and we had that song, Almost Paradise, that life as you know it isn't going to be the same. Now the King of Cups is Neptune in Pisces. That is essentially the dark night of the soul that you go on when you find out that something in regards to health is going to have some big catastrophic effect on your life, or effect on the life of somebody that you are spiritually connected with. The King of Cups is, as I said, Neptune in Pisces. Neptune is that soul searching. Neptune is the bottom of the ocean. And I think of, actually, I'm just going to check. I think of somebody like Prince Harry. Now, his book was released last year, which is 2023. And it was about his journey, the journey that he had been on since his mother's passing. Now, his mother passed in 1997. Again, that same year that Coldplay formed as a band. But his mum died in 1997. So it's this big karmic loop that he has been on. This spiritual journey that is attached to the passing of somebody. And as I said before, it could be an illness here, but it could have just been somebody who passed away not through illness. Let's have a look at the Hierophant here, see if we can get any more. Yeah, look at that. That's the Nine of Swords. That's something that is incredibly traumatic, something that keeps you up at night. The Nine of Swords is Mars in Gemini. Big, big hurt and pain that is attached to this connection that you have with this person, this chosen spiritual connection that you have with this person. You know, and sometimes Eight of Swords. And I was about to say, sometimes, like, his book got released last year. Sometimes you think that the end of something, in terms of, you know, for him writing a book, maybe for him he felt like it was going to be the end of the journey, but maybe he was still stuck in it. And it's not until after that you get these realizations and this release. Maybe, I'm not saying Prince Harry's going to watch my reading, but maybe for you, watching a reading like this makes you get out of your head in terms of the pain of the emotions that were brought up within this connection, because it gives you the insight you need into understanding the powerfulness of this connection, the power of this soul connection, and helps you release that pain. Yeah, release those burdens. The Ten of Wands is heavy, heavy burdens. Understanding that you were part of this person's journey and they were part of yours. Part of the karmic lessons that you learn. And as I said, Saturn is in Pisces. This pause, Saturn is in Pisces, reflecting back on the karmic lessons that we've learned. Now, Saturn in Pisces is also the Eight of Cups. Walking away from the burdens, walking away from the pain. Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands is Saturn in Sagittarius, which is beautiful because the card above it, which is the Temperance card, is Sagittarius. Divine timing through the activation of this 888 portal to come to the realization of the gravity of this connection. Even though it involved a lot of pain. Let's have a look at this Four of Cups, which is disappointment. The Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is Moon in Scorpio. Now, for me, I'm a Moon in Scorpio. That dark night of the soul that I went on after my friend passed away, 3 or 4 years of literally, and I'm coming out the end of it now. But the Moon in Scorpio, Scorpio's transformation, it's death and rebirth of your soul. And as I said before, I am so grateful to my friend for being part of her journey and for the insight in her passing, the insight that I got in her passing. I'm a better person for it, for the lessons that I learned. Knight of Cups. I can fill my own cup now, give to myself on a spiritual level. Let's look at this Five of Swords. Yeah, Six of Pentacles. That is the connection between you and this person. Equal give and take. You step up when they're in need, and then it's reciprocated. Like with Michael J. Fox on the stage at Glastonbury. And as I said, 1970 was as far back as I went. Essentially, the 888 portal is the 8th of August. So the 8th of the 8th, and then the year has to add up to number 8. So go back further, 1970, if you need to. Could be a parent, a grandparent. This connection. Yeah, and Judgment. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Judgment is Pluto, death and rebirth. Judgment Day. You may, in the coming months, especially around this 888 portal, you may get some sort of, if you've helped somebody out, I'm not saying that you're going to get something physically back, but you might have one of those moments, those aha moments, where you get some sort of synchronicity in regards to this connection. A judgment. Judgment comes from God. Almost it's karma. And this year, number 8 is karma. Karmic abundance coming back to you for how you inspired, helped, nurtured somebody on their journey. And part of that abundance that you get back is, for example, with me, the spiritual journey that I've been on in the last 4 years has led me to opening up my spiritual gifts and opening up a YouTube channel, creating all the decks of cards that I use. A spiritual connection with yourself, or a realization that there is a spiritual connection that has come from this chosen connection between two individuals. It's also a dove on the top of there, an olive branch. 2 of Wands on the bottom. Now the 4 of Swords is healing after heartbreak. The 4 of Swords is Jupiter in Libra. It's a balance. And we've got the Temperance Angel again. If this person has passed, they are actually watching you, guiding you now. Actually, that's a beautiful thought. If you helped this person whilst they were on the earthly plane, they are now guiding you in your spiritual journey. That makes me want to cry. They're an angel for you. The moon. The moon is Pisces and Neptune. The moon is hidden. What's hidden? You don't know that they're sitting right on your shoulder, guiding you. How beautiful is that? Something from your past returning, the 6 of Cups. Sun in Scorpio, a death and a rebirth. The illumination that this person from your past is actually returning. And if they haven't left the earthly plane, or if this is you that's unwell, like Michael J. Fox The realization on stage when Chris Martin said, "You inspired us back in 1997. The journey that you've been on had now, it's all come full circle." Five of Pentacles is feeling left out in the cold. I mean, if you've met, my grandmother had Parkinson's. That is one of those diseases that feeling left out in the cold. The Five of Pentacles, Mercury in Taurus, and the celebration that comes at the end. Because something from your past, the joy on his face on stage. If you haven't watched it, just type in Michael J. Fox Glastonbury and the Chariot, which is Cancer, which is the moon. Number 7, highly spiritual number. 2 people, 2 on that card. A journey that 2 people take. A soul journey that 2 people take. A chosen connection between 2 individuals. Now let's get, before we lose the light, this is my Divine Messages Oracle deck. I'm going to get messages from your guides in regards to this situation. Spying energy. You're being watched by this person if they've left the earthly plane. You're being watched. That's not, is the word a nefarious? That's not a nefarious card. That's not, in some contexts, yes, but you're being watched. And then when we looked before, we have the South and the North node. We're talking about somebody who was a spiritual warrior. So somebody who's gone through some sort of grief, some sort of journey that has to do with health. Spying energy is people being inspired by your journey, the journey of the 2 of you. I was inspired by the connection between Coldplay and Michael J. Fox. Being inspired. Walking away. And that's sitting on the 9 of Swords. That's the pain. That's the pain of somebody leaving your life or knowing that somebody is going to leave your life. But it's sitting on the Angel. And that was the Angel that I said, this connection, this soul connection goes beyond the earthly plane. It's connected. Love is the greatest healer. It's connected through love. Life purpose. As I said, Coldplay, they were meant to start a band. They were meant to be inspired by Michael J. Fox so that all that time later, 27 years later, they would get reconnected on this big karmic loop. Purpose. Part of you. There's an intricate connection that maybe you weren't aware of. Playfulness. That maybe you weren't aware of, the depths that this connection was meant to take you. Follow your soul's calling, part of your soul's calling with this person. Part of the evolution of your soul. You are protected. We had that in the Angel card. Fall from grace. And a maybe. A fallen angel maybe, and be confident. That's be confident even though things might not be. I'm going to get a card on this. What does that mean? Fall from grace and maybe. Page of Pentacles. That suggests to me that this journey has been incredibly difficult, and you potentially, you or this person that you're in this soul connection with have stumbled along the way. And it's part of the journey that you're on. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to get an angel card for you. What angel is walking with you? Oh, look at that. 49, eliminates sorrow. Number 10, Aladia, good health helps with anger and rage. Now that came out near that fall from grace. Maybe there has been times within this connection with this person where oftentimes when we have extreme sadness, extreme sorrow, people can do and say things that they don't actually mean. And it often comes when we are out of control within medical situations that we have no control over. Uriel, L, God is my light, transformation. Transformation, yeah, that's lovely. Number 1, new beginnings and bestows wisdom. And I'm going to get one more. Number 43, protection from your enemies. And on the bottom, 65, great fortune and spiritual protection. The great fortune is that you get the spiritual insight that this connection with this person that you have been on this mental, physical, spiritual journey with, this soul connection, is ordained by God, something that was meant to happen in this lifetime as part of the journey of these two parties. So I'm going to get, actually no, I'm not going to get those because we've already got 2 there. So I'm going to get you a song. See if there's a song that can give us any insight. Okay, so we've got Save the Best for Last by Vanessa Williams. And now we're standing face to face. Isn't this world a crazy place? Just when I thought our chance had passed, you go and save the best for last. That makes me want to cry. I think when you've gone on a journey with somebody who is going through tense, traumatic, emotionally traumatic medical conditions, the connection that you have with that person actually becomes really, really strong and really, really close because you see somebody at their worst and at their weakest. You see them for who they are. And Kiss the Girl, now that's from The Little Mermaid. That is about not leaving things unsaid. Not leaving things unsaid. Okay, I'm going to get you a moon oracle. The moon waxes, inspiring the persistence of luminous dreams. You might be getting messages through your dreams. We've also got the card of persistence there. New moon in Scorpio, time to tackle those fears head on. And it's together. You're tackling things together. As a support. Now I'm just going to get 3 of these. These are my love messages, but I'm actually going to take it as, I'm going to ask the question first. I'm going to take it as a message from your higher self. Too many. Just 3. Nope. 1, 2. Okay. Now, that one did want to come out the first time, so it's obviously wanting to come out. Patience and planning. Lots of intricacies within this particular connection. I know there is important things we need to discuss. I have a fear of rejection. That's, I couldn't handle the power of our connection. That suggests to me, and in some scenarios, as I said before, you can have people that are there for one another on a spiritual level, But because things get really tough emotionally, because of the things that people are dealing with in their lives, sometimes it's too hard to have a conversation and say what you want to say, too hard to ask for somebody to give you support, because perhaps it means that you're losing control. A lot of people, when they're unwell, want to remain in control and want to remain independent. And that balance of having to ask somebody for help would be seen as a sign of weakness, but would also put them in an emotional state where they have to come to terms with the fact that maybe they can't do that anymore. That's something that physically or mentally they just don't have the capacity of anymore. This is a very, very complex connection. Okay, now finally, I'm going to get some Scrabble tiles before we lose the light. In here, I've got Scrabble tiles, letters and numbers on them. I'm just going to take... I'm going to call them out. Could be your first, middle, last initial, that of somebody that you feel that you have this spiritual connection with. Number T and a 1, an S and a 1. Just take them as they resonate. A W and a 4. It's just extra clarification. If nothing in here resonates, that's okay. If you've picked up something from the cards, then that's great. A C and a 3. A P and a 3. A J and an 8, a 1, and, sorry, a 1, an I and a 1. Somebody's name might be Jill. An L and a 1, an N and a 1, a U and a 1, lots of ones. As I said, I started the preparation for this reading at 11:11, a Q and a 10. A Z and a 10, a V and a 4, I said Valium, a M and a 3, an O and a 1, a H and a 4, a D and a 2, and finally an F and a 4. So that is what I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me. I wish you all the best if you are still on this spiritual journey with this person. If this person has passed over, please know what the cards are saying is this person is still connected to you. I hope that this reading provided you some clarification as we go into this 888 portal. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. If the reading did resonate with you, give it a like. If you are interested in any of my tarot or oracle decks, the links to those can be found in the description box. Thanks again for joining me, and I wish you a lovely rest of the day.